You know that feeling when a movie just grabs you? What is that invisible force at work? Well, a lot of the time, it's the editing. It's this hidden art, totally designed to guide our emotions without us even noticing. But what if the whole point wasn't to hide the editing? What if it was to make you see every single cut? So, in one corner, you've got early Hollywood. They absolutely perfected what we call continuity editing. And the whole goal there was to make every single cut invisible, right? To keep us totally lost in the story. But then, over in the brand new Soviet Union, a group of filmmakers had this completely radical idea. They thought the cut shouldn't be hidden at all. No, it should be a weapon. It should be this celebrated event that actually forces us to stop and think.
I mean, seriously, think about it. When was the last time you were watching a movie and you actually saw the editing? Probably never, right? We get so lost in the world of a film that we just completely ignore the thousands of cuts that are building that reality. But what if the cuts themselves? What if they were the real story?
And that contrast, that really gets to the heart of everything. You could say Hollywood editing creates this smooth, immersive dream. Soviet montage, on the other hand, it wants to wake you up. It wants to make you an active participant in building the film's ideas. For them, the cut wasn't just a simple transition. Nope, it was the entire point.
Okay, so let's set the scene. It's just after the 1917 Russian Revolution, and you have these incredible filmmakers, people like Dziga Vertov, Vsevolod Pudovkin, and Sergei Eisenstein. They looked at cinema and didn't just see entertainment. They saw this incredibly powerful tool that could help build a whole new society. And what they discovered was that the most revolutionary part of cinema wasn't what you did with the camera, it was what you did in the edit.
So how did they figure this out? Well, the whole idea was really unlocked by a surprisingly simple experiment from a filmmaker named Lev Kuleshov. Here's what he did. He took a single shot of an actor with a totally blank, neutral expression, just a face. First, he cut from that face to a shot of a bowl of soup. And when people saw it, they said, "Oh, he looks hungry." Then he took that same exact shot of the face and cut to a coffin. Now people said, "Wow, he looks so sorrowful." And finally, he took the face again and cut to a shot of a baby. And you guessed it, people said he looks so happy. The actor's face never, ever changed. The only thing that changed was the image that came right after it. And boom, that right there became known as the Kuleshov effect. It was this huge breakthrough. It proved that meaning isn't actually in a shot, it's created between the shots, right inside our own minds. It's wild, right? And this single, simple psychological discovery, it became the foundation for an entire artistic movement.
But there was one person who took this little psychological trick and just ran with it. The brilliant director Sergei Eisenstein. He saw this and thought, wait a minute. He realized you could use this effect not just to create simple emotions, but to actually build completely new, complex ideas right inside the audience's head.
So Eisenstein was heavily influenced by philosophical ideas, specifically Marxist dialectics, and he developed this theory he called dialectic montage. Now for him, a cut wasn't just a gentle link from shot A to shot B. Oh no, it was a violent collision. He argued that when you smash two totally opposing images together, you force the audience to do the work. You force them to create a third, more abstract idea, an idea that wasn't in either of the original shots.
He basically thought of it almost like a mathematical formula for ideas. You have shot A, which is your thesis. Then you have shot B, the conflicting antithesis. When those two collide, the mental explosion creates something brand new, the synthesis, or idea C. So see, it's not just A plus B equals C. It's more like A times versus B. And that conflict is what forges a totally new concept right there in your mind.
And just listen to Eisenstein's own words. You can feel the energy, can't you? He's not talking about gentle transitions here. He's talking about explosions, raw material, the forging of new concepts. This was a really aggressive, really intellectual way to think about making movies.
So, where can we see this in action? Well, there's no better or more famous example than the Odessa Steppe sequence from his 1925 masterpiece, Battleship Potemkin. And I want you to understand this isn't just a scene. It is a carefully engineered intellectual and emotional assault on the senses.
So first, Eisenstein gives us the thesis. It's this relentless, inhuman, almost machine-like march of the Tsar's soldiers. We see their rhythmic boots marching in unison. They are completely faceless force of oppression. Then, bam! He slams that shot up against an image of pure, absolute innocence in peril. It's a baby carriage. It's been separated from its mother, and it's just bumping helplessly out of control down these massive stone steps.
And he doesn't stop there. He just relentlessly collides image after image, close-ups of terrified, pleading faces of the townspeople, the absolutely shocking shot of a mother realizing her child is dead, her face just a mask of silent grief. You see, these aren't just shots to tell a story. They are emotional and conceptual bombs being thrown at the audience. And this is the synthesis. This is the ultimate effect. By slamming all these images together, one after the other, Eisenstein creates an idea in our minds that is so much more powerful than any single shot could ever be. We don't just see a massacre, we feel these huge, abstract ideas, brutal injustice, state-sponsored terror, and maybe, just maybe, the spark of a revolution.
Now, to be clear, this pure, super-intellectual form of montage didn't really last, but its impact on cinema? It was absolutely seismic. I mean, it fundamentally changed the entire language of film. It proved that editing could be more than just a simple tool to tell a story. It could actually be a way to program emotion and even thought itself.
And honestly, once you know what to look for, you start seeing its DNA absolutely everywhere. That nail-biting suspense in a Hitchcock thriller? That's montage. The frantic, parallel action in a modern blockbuster? Montage. The explosive, kinetic energy of a movie trailer? That is pure montage. Heck, even the way a modern internet meme smashes an image and some text together to create a new, ironic idea, it all goes back to these same principles.
So here's a little challenge for you. The next time you watch a movie trailer, don't just see the cool explosions and the pretty faces. Look for the collisions. Ask yourself, what two ideas are being smashed together here to make me feel excited, to make me feel danger? And you might just realize you're watching the echoes of an explosion that started nearly 100 years ago, right there on the steps of Odessa.